continuing with our series of talks with eminent speakers on board on our very own E40 Talks show. I am Shavinder, the brand head of this show and the anchor of this wonderful, power-packed global talk show series, hosted with a vision and a mission to showcase the inspiring stories and interesting discussions on varied topics to assure great experience to the viewers. As promised to our viewers, we are present with yet another interesting topic and discussion. And we are presently rubaru with our guest, Dr. Seema Negi. Welcome to the show.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much. Truly honored you invited me, and this is such a big, beautiful moment.
Great, likewise. Dr. Seema Negi, who is a Global Goodwill Ambassador, Director, Principal, Sanjeevani World School, Mumbai, and a life coach. So before we start the discussion, I want to quickly brief our viewers about our guest today. Well, she lives by the maxim, I am because we are. Being a visionary, Dr. Negi's leadership has always been dynamic and passionate. She has prevailed in the field of education for more than 2 decades. She firmly believes each child is a new canvas, and we as educators need to create a masterpiece. She is associated with many educational social organizations and contributes her time and efforts for the betterment of educational system and society. She attended various conferences, events, summits as a speaker, moderator, panelist at national and international platforms. Learning, sharing, empowering, and hand-holding is what she believes in. She contributes a considerable amount of time for the same. She is bestowed with many prestigious awards as well. Her work is recognized by World Book of Record UK in personal and professional categories. Amazing achievements, I must say, Dr. Negi. And today I'm feeling so nice because I'm also from the same fraternity. And aaj discussion mazedar hogi, I get a feeling. So let's start without wasting any further time. We talk about leadership most of the time, and leadership has got varied definition. What, according to you, is defines a leader?
It's a very interesting question because these days we talk a lot about resilient leader. Okay, so for me, leadership is and what defines it. If all my colleagues or my subordinate, okay, they move ahead than me, that is true leadership for me. So that is transformational leadership, wherein you transform everyone, your entire team becomes a team of leaders, and that is leadership for me.
Absolutely. See, even the new NEP says, कि आप सबको leader बनाइए. It's not the leader should be the leader. Everybody should be empowered. Everybody must get the opportunity to exhibit his or her role. So do you think the role of leader has changed in present context?
To some extent, like these days, we don't have those traditional authoritarian leaders who used to feel that it's I, me, myself. I think now when you see the hierarchy also, especially when I talk about the hierarchy that we follow in our organization, we don't have a vertical hierarchy. In fact, we have a horizontal hierarchy where each and every voice matter. As you know, I'm associated to a school. So I personally feel whatever is the vision that principal has, okay, as a leader, the same vision should be there, which the security guard needs to have. So everyone is equally important. If the security guard is not taking care of his work, if he is not displaying his leadership skills, then I think when you come inside the school and goes to various galleries of schools and reach to principal's cabin, you have actually not displayed the leadership, which is the hidden curriculum of the school. So for me, yes, the style has changed. Now the style is more open and everybody is becoming empowered. It cannot be just one person who is leader. It has to be everyone who is leader, and everyone is in the process of becoming a leader. You cannot say there's a full stop to this. It's a work in progress kind of thing.
Indeed, because if it is of course a teamwork. It cannot be one man army, because if we need to accomplish our vision and mission statement, it has to start from the root level, and
True.
every employee is a part of that curriculum or program, and at times we don't have to speak about it. It will be showed in your leadership.
Yes,
Yes. So
yes.
बोलना बहुत आसान है, but do you think बहुत आसान है to become a good leader?
It's all depends upon your mindset. See, if we know these days fixed mindset to growth mindsets are the buzzwords, but these are not just the buzzword. The moment you try, when you start doing it, trust me, करना ज़्यादा easy है. शायद उसको define करना या बोलना या उसको बताना ज़्यादा difficult है जब आप करने लगते हो. See, the moment you walk the talk, you know that how beautiful it is. Now you are not the only one who is answerable or responsible. Everybody takes the joint responsibility. Everybody is committed towards that particular task which is there to be achieved. So it's a beautiful journey. As I told, there shouldn't be any full stop. If all of us continue it as a beautiful journey, then it is much easier done than said. बट हाँ, सबको एक ही पेज पे होना बहुत जरूरी है. हम सबकी स्क्रिप्ट सेम होनी चाहिए, एंड वी हैव टू वर्क टुवर्ड्स अ कॉमन विजन विथ ऑलवेज द रूम एंड स्कोप फॉर इम्प्रूवमेंट. Because the moment we shut our door for improvement or any change, then I think we are closing ourselves, and then we are not the leader who are visionary.
Exactly, because we look up to our leaders, and we wait how they perform, and that's how we do. So when I talk about that, I really want to know. It's a very personal question. How has your journey started like that? How did you get into education, and what motivated you to opt for this career, which is a very noble profession?
So it started from corporate. If you talk about my journey, it started from corporate, and then my father moved to a small place in Nainital, Bhawali. There is a Air Force unit, and from there my journey as educator started. And then I think there was no looking back, because then I realized that this is my calling, or this is what I always wanted to do. And what made me stay in this noble profession is, I think, all my learners, all the students. Imagine every morning when you get up, you have an opportunity to change so many lives. Which other profession is giving you this kind of opportunity? And you stay young, because you are dealing with young minds, and the beautiful process of metamorphosis that you see when your grade 10 students, grade 12 students, they pass out and they go to the wider world, and they are always connected thanks to social media. I think no other profession gives me this opportunity to build nation, and I am building nation in my classroom. That is my biggest motivation.
Beautiful. In a very short and crisp way, you explained that how your journey has started into this career, and how you love to. Because first of all, we need to believe in what we are doing. That is when we'll be able to, take care of our Gen Next. And thanks to social media, there's so much of awareness everywhere. But the leader or the visionary principal is the one who's going to guide them. I mean, see, today's disturbing news is about, young generation getting into drugs and all that, that is when I feel somewhere the school had lagged in, grooming the children. See, every time we cannot be blaming parents. Of course, school has to take the responsibility of that. So that, of course, is there. So at times, when you work with small children or middle school children, how difficult it is to explain to them a change,
See, this generation is very powerful, and I think this generation is more empowered than us. When we talk
Yes.
about digital world, they are digital natives. But every generation feels that हमें ज़्यादा आता था, इनको कुछ नहीं आता है. So what is very important, and this is something I'm very passionate about, is understanding generational disparity. And that is the first training or workshop session that I take for my teachers also. We need to understand generational disparity. And the moment we understand that, trust me, it becomes very easy to make this generation understand what we really wanted to convey, because then we are in sync with what they are thinking. So first thing is the moment we understand about this particular generation, especially Generation Z, who is in my school right now, for me, then breaking the ice becomes very, very, very easy. And trust me, it's their way of dealing with situation. हमें लगता है, I'll give you a very small example. Suppose I have the habit of saying good morning, but my students, they come and they say hi. That doesn't mean they are not respecting me. It is their way of showing the respect. That doesn't mean I have to say hi in return. I can stick to my good morning, and I have seen over a passage of time, their hi turns into good morning. So why to force them to do that? When we keep on doing our work consistently, we see the change.
Exactly. Very beautifully put up. Being an academician myself, most of the schools, I always put a motto or a logo which says changing the way kids grow. We must change for them. We should be changing for them. It's not that, because we need to understand that there is so much of, digital awareness, and how can we guide them? So what, according to you, is how can we motivate our children to use any workshops that can be done to motivate our children to use social media in a positive manner? Do you have those kind of life skill classes as well?
See, that's a beautiful question, because everybody these days, we are struggling. That initially we used to say, stay away from the gadget, but now pandemic has actually given gadget to us children, and it's like 24/7 they are using it. But what is more important is we need to make our learners understand how to use it mindfully. As a person, when you are able to control your urge, okay, I always say everyone that when you're able to control your urge to use the gadget, when you're able to control the urge, that means you are using it mindfully. Otherwise, the moment after every 5 minutes, you want to check your gadget, and that is what should not happen. So what happens with this generation, we have given them digital world, or we have given them technology too early in life, but we cannot take it back. The only thing is we have to now cultivate good digital habits, and that is one thing that our school has taken care of. And I also run a program like which I am very passionate about, that is Principal Ki Pathshala, wherein I go and discuss with children everything under the sky apart from what is there in academics. So these are some of the session we very often conduct, wherein how important it is to digitally literate your children, and also to ensure that they are following the digital etiquettes, which are very important, because we cannot make our children slave of technology. See, they can be the creator. It is always man behind the machine. They need to be man behind the machine, but not the person who is empowered so much by the machine that then it becomes a kind of habit which is not going to go away. We don't want that. So that mindfulness and balance, we really work out on that. But this is easier said than done. It takes time, and that is the honest reply. It does take time.
Yes, it does, and but it is very nice that as a visionary leader, you are taking it to that level that children have one-on-one sessions with you and they understand. That's where I feel educators must go to the level of at the level of the children of understanding key. What are the pros and cons of it? Absolutely wonderful. So, is it really possible not to give up? At times that we really think of it.
It is difficult. It is difficult, but then it's again mindset change, shift in the mindset. There are certain words which I have eliminated from our entire working profession also, and my personal life also. That is impossible and difficult and challenging. Though we consider all the different elements related to these words as a situation. So when there is a situation always comes with a solution. The only thing is we have to look for it. So whenever there is a situation, we discuss and we look for all the possible solution rather than giving up. Giving up is the easiest situation or the easiest solution. So we have to, first thing that gets crossed is giving up, and then everything how to thrive and how to bounce back. Because the moment giving up comes to your mind, I feel then we are in that echo chamber of negativity wherein everything seems negative. But if you see, after every sunset, there is sunrise. So why to give up? Sun has not given up from ages and ages and ages. Every evening you see sunset, and every morning you see beautiful sunrise. So we have to learn so many things from our nature, environment, and that helps us in staying positive.
Exactly. So my actually next question was that how to overcome the negativity and also persistent to the present situation where there is so much of unemployment or people have lost their jobs, parents are not able to pay the fee, and children are also succumb to that kind of feeling that hamara kya hoga, all that. So how can we overcome that negativity, or maybe in totality depression, to embrace positive attitude?
So first is we need to have positive affirmation. Then if I have to quote it, I'll say, this is the Sanskrit phrase, yad bhav tad bhavati. The way we think, so shall be. I will not say that situation was not bad or adverse. There are people who have lost their job, and for me it might be very easy to say, but the one who are suffering, their suffering is something different. But then we have to look for solutions. How long can we be there with the suffering only? I mean, the more we stay there, the more it becomes a part of our life, and then at some time we become so comfortable with our pain, with our depression, that we then do not try to come out of that. So the early we come out of that, the better it is, because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. However long the tunnel is, there is always light. And that little hope that yes, there is light, should keep us moving. So to keep it very, very simple, I will say that we need to be like a river. We have seen water. When the water is at one place only, it becomes stagnated. But you see river, come what may, river always makes the way and move ahead. So that is what we have to do, whether it's a boulder or it's a big stone or it is a mountain or anything. We have to make our way and we have to move ahead. That is how we will be able to overcome this entire negativity or the entire ecosystem that we make around us full of negativity or depression.
Dr. Negi, that is really, amazing way to overcome the negativity around, and the best way to is to move on in life. That's what we must continue doing that. I would love to really have a long discussion, but owing to the time constraint, one last question is that what is your quick 3 tips or a takeaway for our students who are viewers today,
So first thing is, take pride in who you are and take pride in your culture, because when you do not know where you come from, you will not know where to go. Okay, so I'll just present 4 C's rather than 3, and these are not 21st century C's, they are 22nd century C. One is care. Take care of your own self first, then your family, then your neighbor, your society, your community, your country, and your world. Okay, that is care. Second is connect. Stay connected with each one of your friends, your family, everyone. The world has become a very small place. Your connections will play a major role in future also. Next is your community. Do something which is community driven. If you will not take care of community, who will take care of community? If each one of us takes that responsibility, the world will become a better place. And my last C is culture. Take pride in who you are, because if you do not know from where you have come, you will never know where you have to go. So take care of these 4 C's, and trust me, you are global citizen. You are going to make a better world, more sustainable world, because sustainability is the most important aspect. And stay blessed, stay happy. That's what I want for everyone.
Great, thank you so much. This is indeed the jewels that you have shared with us today, pearls of wisdom, which will definitely, if we make it as a to-do list for our life every time, I'm sure we will fulfill our, we will be able to, achieve that role, goal, and occasion of our life that we want to achieve. Thank you so much, Dr. Negi. It's a wonderful feeling to host you today. And there is no limit to what we women can accomplish. And you truly deserve every bit of appreciation, Dr. Negi. Thank you once again for joining us and being a part of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And it was indeed my pleasure to be here on this platform. Thank you. Thank you.
So if you wish to share your inspiring stories, please contact me at shavi@e4gtalks.com. I thank all our viewers and please like, share and subscribe to our channel. And do not forget to put your comments in today's show, which is especially for the students, how they can, cope up in life. For more interesting stories, please stay tuned. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Jai Hind.
E4G Talks is brought to you by ISECI, Indian Ex-Defence Service Employees Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Thanks to its vast veteran network and global and pan-India associates, ISECI can carry out various commerce facilitations and CSR projects across India and the world. Some of ISECI's core capability areas are Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Digital India, any ex-serviceman welfare or job program, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan related projects, telemedicine and healthcare training and job scheme, Save Water scheme, defence industry SME, MSME cluster and hub development, maritime training and inland water training with job facilitation, Canada study, job and permanent residency opportunity, e-commerce, Andaman and Nicobar commerce opportunities. ISECI's global reach includes countries like Indonesia, Slovakia, Canada, Nepal, Singapore, Rwanda, USA, UK. Above all, it is ISECI's effort to create a veterans brand made by the veterans, for the veterans and made up of the veterans. Every Indian's support is invaluable in this journey. ISECI is a registered society for ex-servicemen's welfare and envisions that every veteran should be a part of India's economic growth story. It is the aim of ISECI to create an enabling commerce platform that will empower and synergize the veterans' talent pool. This is possible only with the support of entrepreneurs, businesses and consultants from civil society. All proceeds, if any, are utilized for the welfare of ex-servicemen and for public charity.